I worked really hard for my peace, and I am not willing to allow anyone or anything to come and disrupt it. So, what do I mean by that? I am now holding much stronger boundaries for my life because some of the disruption of my peace was from having poor boundaries, from tolerating things that I knew I didn't like, but I wanted to come across as chill. So I did tolerate it. And then I realized that's messing with my peace. Whether it's anxiety and knowing that you have some work to do to face the anxiety, to heal some of the anxiety, you have some confidence to build in yourself. And that takes work, and it takes facing some really uncomfortable feelings and uncomfortable situations. And a lot of us just want to be like, nope, just going to avoid that. And so not wanting to have something be over your peace means you really can't avoid that work in terms of healing some of this anxiety and building this confidence within yourself. The other thing when it comes to things interrupting our peace is sometimes it's us. Ooh, yeah, that's not the fun part to hear. Sometimes we disrupt our own peace because we're choosing to engage in some of the toxic behaviors that we know we are capable of without holding ourselves accountable, without maybe even being aware of it, without even feeling as if us disrupting our peace should be considered in the same stands as others disrupting our peace. I'm here to tell you, self-betrayal probably stings me a little worse than being betrayed by others. When I know I am not withholding boundaries that I know is going to protect my peace, and when I know I am also engaging in some sort of icky, toxic behavior, I have to hold myself accountable. Because otherwise, that's not only disrupting my peace, but it's disrupting my progress in life, and it's disrupting me holding myself accountable. Peace looks different for everybody. Some people really struggle with finding peace in a situation like this where it's, do you hear it? Peaceful. Some people prefer living in a city with lots of noise and all these people and being around all of their friends, and I miss that. I also understand that. So understanding your version of peace, actually being honest with yourself. Are you at peace? Is there something you probably need to work on to get at peace? Is there maybe a relationship that you are allowing in your life that is disrupting your peace? Are there behaviors you're engaging in that's disrupting your peace? Only you know that answer. Like I have said, we hold the truth within us. We are the ones who know, you know what, I feel really peaceful right now. And we're also the ones who know when we are not feeling that energy. And if we're paying enough attention, we can point out what exactly is the cause of that. That requires a lot of effort. And I think it depends on how much peace matters to you to whether or not you're willing to put the effort in. To me, peace has become my non-negotiable. With the stress and anxiety and overwhelm I have experienced between being a caregiver and beyond, because like I've told you before, I was very surprised my anxiety got worse after Steve passed away. Now that I know what peace feels like, I have to stay true to that because that is my healthiest being. And as entertaining as sometimes playing around with the stuff that disrupts my peace is, it's never worth the self-sabotaging of myself. There is a difference between wanting so desperately to feel at peace and sort of being in that fake it till you make it stage, but actually still being in the struggle. I never want there to be shame around this because that is like we really strive to just be at peace. And sometimes the idea of sitting in our silence and feeling the feelings and facing some of the thoughts that come up and looking at some of the behaviors we've exhibited and just like trying to understand all of it and where it's coming from and what needs changed, it is exhausting, it is hard, it is not very fun. Sometimes it comes with a lot of heavy feelings. Sometimes it comes with just this shedding of an ego self where it's like, oh, I gotta look at this. I gotta look this straight in the eye because I know I'm currently engaging in behaviors willingly participating in the disruption of my peace, and I got to hold myself accountable. It's not always pleasant to maintain this peace. And here's what I just beg of most people, and often have to remind myself: do not confuse peace with boredom. Right? When you get used to having chaos in your life, when you don't have the same chaos in your life, sometimes that can feel like boredom. And if you're not careful, you will engage in behaviors or entertain people or situations that are going to disrupt your peace simply because you consider yourself bored and you don't really understand that peace oftentimes means the exclusion of some of this chaos, which means your nervous system's going to be like, it's really still here and I don't know what to do with this. And is this even what life is supposed to be like? Isn't life supposed to be wild and all over the place? And here's the delicious part of it all. When you can sit in this peacefulness and turn off some of the calls to answer some of this toxic shadow that's still trying to call you into this unhealthy behavior, you will find that peace is exhilarating. You will find yourself so overwhelmed by the awe and the wonder and the just natural gorgeousness of the world around you, because you're so at peace and in the moment, that you don't have to be bored. Your senses are alive. Everything is just so gorgeous, and it's all stunningly beautiful because it's an appreciation of where you are. And when you can get to that place where just the little simple things, and it doesn't have to be this drama and all this chaos, can make you feel so much joy and content and happiness within yourself, that's when you know I'm at peace. And perhaps one of the more important things I've had to learn with this is a little bit of more self-forgiveness, because I oftentimes get frustrated at myself, whether I allow somebody to come and disrupt my peace, or I'm the one engaging in behavior that I know, I'm fully aware it's disrupting my peace, but I'm doing it anyways. There has to be so much self-love and self-forgiveness in this process, because there's a lot of times in which these little things will trigger us and we'll be like, ooh, I'm going to go over here for a minute. And then you're like, you remember that feels toxic and not like home. Peace feels like at home. It feels like grounded. It feels like love. And when you start to experience the difference, you will really know when you start to say no to some of the things that feel toxic. But when you do engage in some of this toxic, it's just a sharpening. It's just information. It just shows you, I still have some learning to do. I still have some practice to do. I don't have this mastered yet. Big surprise, I'm a human, and I'm going to flounder a bit, and that is okay. So allowing yourself to be on your process and not judging it is a major part of the piece, because if you're sitting there shaming yourself every time you do anything that doesn't feel aligned, then that disrupts your peace, right? And it's not going to bring you back to peace sooner. More so, it's just like, I got to be aware. Allow myself to be aware. Absorb the information, acknowledge the information, accept what's going on, and realize I still have work to do. And that might feel uncomfortable, but I know I'm capable. And then I show up and try. And then if I mess up, I show up and try again. And then eventually I know, because most things in life I can witness this in my own being, is that if I keep showing up and trying, eventually I get it. And just having that faith and that trust in yourself, in the way the world works, and in your process, that also is an important part to maintaining your peace. Let me close with this reminder. You are so worthy of living a life that feels aligned and peaceful and positive and productive and delicious and alive, and something that you feel proud of, and something that you know you're giving your all to. You are so worthy of peace. And if you are afraid of the work that it takes to have the hard conversations with others to protect your peace, or the hard conversations with yourself, let me remind you that it is always worth it. That little bit of discomfort brings peace on the other side. Breathe through it. Know that you are capable of this. Know that you are worthy of whatever effort it takes for you to return to peace. And I just hope that everyone gets to experience peace, because I feel like it's such a privilege that I get to be in this space after a lot of years not knowing what peace even felt like, looked like. I'm so thankful. I want this for everyone. And I won't say I've got this mastered, because I still have a lot of things that I'm like, ooh, that was toxic. I allowed that. Or I was toxic. So I still have work to do. Always. But I know that I'm worthy of peace. And I know that I'm capable of getting there. And that right there, that's what I want for everyone. It's the first step. It's the hardest part. And yeah. All right. Peace.